It's such a pleasure to be here, and of course to be introduced by George. I'm so honored to be able to share some stories with you that don't include any words. In 2008, I met Nathaniel Anthony Ayers, the subject of Steve Lopez's book, The Soloist, and the subsequent movie starring Robert Downey Jr. and Jamie Foxx. And in this man who had nothing but a violin and the voices in his head, I discovered that music could be a therapy that went deeper than words, that music could be medicine itself. With Nathaniel, I started this sort of gently escalating series of dares. I told him that wherever he had his violin and wherever I had mine, I would play a lesson with him. And so we started at Walt Disney Concert Hall and then worked our way down to the sidewalk in front of the Colburn School and then further down the hill to the LA Times building. And then one day I found myself playing that very same movement of Bach in the trash-littered courtyard at the LA Men's Project on San Julian and 7th, in the very heart of Skid Row. And amongst the metal fences and the barbed wire, I found that the music of Bach and Brahms and Mozart and Ravel had as much meaning, if not more meaning in that space than they did at Walt Disney Concert Hall for me, because this was something where this music was coming from my heart and registering with him. This was something where music was speaking, where words and society, and maybe even we could say humanity, had failed. I remember seeing again and again how the music brought Nathaniel back from his darkest places, and earlier this year I started the Street Symphony, which is a 501c3 that brings live professional classical musicians to the most underserved communities throughout Los Angeles, the homeless, the mentally ill, the incarcerated, to veterans. And what we see again and again in these most unlikely venues, for these most unlikely audiences, is that without the footlights of the stage, without the tuxedo tails, the stigma, the labels are gone. Suddenly we're rejoicing in the music and reveling in our common humanity. It's no longer about the dissociation between the artist and the public. And I want to close with a quote by the German composer Robert Schumann, who himself suffered from schizophrenia and actually died in a mental asylum. And Robert Schumann said that to bring light into the darkness of men's hearts, such is the duty of the artist. And I feel that we can only continue the conversation about homelessness and mental illness and removing the stigma and bias associated with these labels by inspiring the very hearts of these communities, from inspiring the actual public themselves from the inside out, and music does this, to inspire them and make them realize that they can still have the ability to express and experience something beautiful within them, and they carry that beauty within themselves. So for me, the Street Symphony is not just the most meaningful thing I can do as an artist, but as a human being as well. I'm so grateful and thankful. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be able to share this stage with the passionate and driven people of today, and I'm very grateful to the Annenberg Foundation for letting me attend and be a guest here. I'd like to close with another movement by Johann Sebastian Bach. Thank you so much.